What's up, guys? This is Gabe from S&P Speed Innovations, and today we're putting the cylinder head on a short block here. So, of course, got halfway through it, then realized it's a good information video for you guys to kind of help give you a little bit more preparation. So, first thing we do is we clean the deck surface with brake cleaner and a lint-free rag. So we try not to have any lint if possible, and the whole deck surface is cleaned. Another thing we do, don't get carried away on this one, is there is some seams right here. And what we do is we put a little bit, here, come over here on this side. So we do a little bit of silicone in the seam there because sometimes oil will seep right through that crack. And then we do a little bit of silicone here. Ultra black, ultra gray works good. We just do a light coating around the bottom of it, and then along the top of it. Again, just a light coat. We don't need to get too carried away. We're just trying to give it just a little extra protection. This way, over time and duration, it doesn't all turn black through here from just a little bit of oil seepage, collects a bunch of dirt. So, same attention we did to the deck surface here. This has been rebuilt, but we have cleaned the whole deck surface with some brake cleaner, something that oil free. And of course, like I said, we use a lint free rag. Make sure there's no lint on it at all. This being a fresh engine block, we did lubricate everything, but the short block was waiting for a while we were waiting for a custom head gasket to come in. So we took a little bit of opportunity, put a little bit of oil around the cylinders. We oiled the cylinders when we short blocked it, but while you have the head off, especially if it's going to be a little while longer before you spin the engine over and build some oil pressure, just want to make sure you put a light coat of oil around here. We did the same thing along the edge of the piston and the cylinder walls, just getting a little bit of oil in between there. Coming over here to the timing chain cover, you can see that we kind of have some zip tie action going on here. This you want to be careful with because if it's too deep, remember your cylinder head comes up to about here. And if you can't get in there and cut that one, be extra cautious. But we do want to try to support this as much as we can. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave it like this, hang it over like that as we go to put the cylinder head in. At some point, well, I'll probably have Nathan here hold it up like this from the top side once I get down to a certain point. And what that'll do is just kind of keep this inside so it doesn't hang up on us. And we can get the cylinder head in and around the timing chain and the timing chain gear. So once we get that on, this is going to get head studs, and we will go through and put the head studs in. But as you can see, we do not have the head studs on right now. We normally put the head studs on. We install the head studs after the cylinder has been on. I know a lot of people will stick all the studs in, put the head on, but personally, I don't like that because what that does is as the threads are going through the hole and you're trying to get the head on, that usually takes a lot of aluminum burrs from the threads scraping along the bore, the bolt hole bores, and that could potentially put some metal shavings inside your engine. So I normally put the head studs on after I put the cylinder head on. Certain applications and some cylinder head casting types, we've had to do the studs first and then put the heads on. Very rarely do we do that. It's not our normal practice, but in certain applications we may have to. And one thing I forgot is I normally try to put the zip tie knuckle out here on the outside, but that's okay. All right, go ahead and hold that up. There we go, just like that. It is on there. Give it a little bit of wiggle and shake. And we can go ahead and roll this down this direction here. Keep the tension on that side. And keep all the slack on the tensioner side. You can just drop that down right there. Perfect. Now Nathan can grab a couple bolts. Make sure he threads the oils and threads. 2 bolts go in there. We'll start working on the studs next. Okay, so as we can see here, we've got long studs and short studs. I was going to make a mess, but that's okay. We can clean that up. So why do we have long studs and short studs? It's actually pretty easy. Pretty simple deal here. So the front of the cylinder head has gears on the camshafts here that intermesh. And because the gears are so big, you have to have a shorter stud up at the very front. All the rest of them can be a little bit long, so it means the threads can be a little bit above the nuts. That's okay. But on the front here, we always want the top of the stud to be flush with the nut because the gear is here. So you got your intake cam is driven off the timing chain cover, and then the exhaust cam is driven off the intake cam. So you have the gear to gear mesh and it sits right in here. If you have the wrong studs, if they're all the same size, they're not going to clear the gears. So one of the things we do is we take the packets here and we shake them up back and forth. Sometimes the fluid will separate and you'll start to squirt it out and some oil will start to come out instead of the black stuff like that. You know, it'd be kind of loose and thin instead of on the thicker side like it's supposed to be. So that's one thing we do. Another thing is I kind of cut some of the corners back a little bit. So for me, it helps a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of ARP lube on the threads here. You don't have to go too crazy with it. We're going to put a little bit more once we get to the once we get to put these in and install them. We'll start at the back and we're going to work our way forward. Now, I found it to be a little easier if we go ahead and pre-install everything on it. Take the round side. It's a sharp edge and then there's a rounded edge. Rounded edges always face upwards. Make sure that there is some ARP lube underneath the washers and on top of the washers. The reason for that is because that is a friction point. And it will change our torque reading if you don't have ARP lube on that friction point. I do it so it's just about flush. Something like that. With these, spin it around. Although it doesn't really hurt to have too much. We don't want to have normal practice of overdoing it and having this all throughout the engine. Not that it's bad for the engine, it's just you want to let the braking oil do what it does. Just like that. Nathan will come in behind us and he'll start to get those all ready for us. Start threading them in. All right, so what Nathan just did here is he put a little bit of oil on the bottom side of the bolt flanges there. It's kind of important you guys don't forget that step. You always want to put a little bit of oil on all of your threads and all of your friction surfaces. So the bottom of that flange there on the bolt, that is a friction surface because that's where the it has contact with the timing chain cover surface there. So we always want to make sure that we have oil on that. So now what we're going to do, if you look down inside here, you'll see that the threads of the stud is just below the nut surface there. We're going to double check and make sure that it is down all the way. And we want more stud contact. So we're just going to loosen these up just a hair. We're going to back these threads off a couple turns. And we're going to run these back down until they're about the top. Just like that. Probably a little bit more. Just so we have all the threads we can on the nut. There's plenty of threads in the block. That won't go anywhere. Something like that. That's pretty close right there. We'll go ahead and just run all the rest of these down. Set to 80. Set that to 80. Set it to 80. It is. Okay. Just left it. want to bring to your attention a very important topic: birth control. We have somebody like this who doesn't know how to watch his mouth. It's my son, my middle son, and he gets a little mouthy sometimes. He gets a little cocky sometimes. I gotta slap him. This is a reminder: birth control. Wrap it up. Be cautious. See, look at that. This right here is because he doesn't want me to give him the 5 fingers in the face. Smack. It's not child abuse. He's 22. So anyway, just want to bring that to your attention. Birth control, guys. You know what I'm talking about. Thanks, guys.
Several bad puns later.
What we're doing is just putting it, just going to run these down so we get a little bit of tension on the cylinder head. Just making sure that the head is down all the way. And then we're not really doing much for torque on it. It is our goal. I like to walk our way into it. So we're going to go about 35, 36-ish. Okay. I'm going to run this up to about 60 pounds next. Now we're going to go right up to 80. Two front ones here, we normally go about 12 foot-pounds roughly. So that's pretty much a beep, and a beep, about 12 pounds, maybe 14. Pretty close to it. So that's it, pretty simple. Biggest thing is making sure that your timing chain, everything is free. Make sure you torque it down to a proper sequence. Make sure you start from the center, work your way out. There is a rotational spiral pattern, or I do an X pattern. All the caps stay on it until the camshafts go in, and the caps can come off. It's really simple. Make sure you lubricate all your friction surfaces, and we'll go ahead and grab a torque wrench. We'll torque those two down, and we'll just start putting the camshafts in. So that's what we got for now. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to do all that stalker stuff. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff. Let us know if you want to see more content like this in the comments. Just drop something in the comments down below. We're not going to go ahead and go through the video and do the camshaft installation. Maybe we will. Maybe that'll be a separate video. But for now, quick and easy, simple preparation. Make sure everything's clean. Make sure everything is sealed. Make sure everything's lubricated. Make sure everything's torqued down a proper sequence and to the proper torque range. So other than that, stay tuned. We'll catch you guys next time. Thank you very much.